Here's our third project. This uses lots of vellum. This uses a piece of the Pool Party SAB vellum. It's the dry embossed vellum. There you can see it. And I used some color vellum that we have in the catalog. There's pink, petal pink vellum behind here, the circle. Some yellow, and all three colors come in the same package. And then there's yellow vellum and the Pear Pizzazz vellum. So there's two different kinds of vellum, but three different ways. So again, it's not glued down here, it's glued right here in the center. Okay, so I'll show you that. So I got my card base. This is again that Peaceful Poppies paper. So either side you like. I like this side with the blue vellum. And we're just going to put glue right down the middle. Okay. And you can really see how pretty that blue is on the white. This vellum actually doesn't show you you can't see the adhesive on this one. That's really nice. Okay. Then you're going to put some adhesive on your strip. Oh, there went that one. And center that up. Okay, just like that. Now, for the sentiment, remember, stamp first, then punch. So we're going to stamp in Poppy Parade Red. That's the color of the ink, Poppy Parade. Oh, and I'll show you the stamp set. Give it a second when you stamp. Let that red dry a little bit. Here's the words, because I don't have the Poppies stamp set or the dies, but I have this one, and this has a matching punch, which I love. But this is Floral Essence, and here's the matching punch. You can see it matches that floral image right there beside it. Okay, so this is stamped. It's good and dry. So I have two circle punches. This is a 2-inch. And I have punched your circles for you. I know I say to stamp first and then punch, but you're not going to have anything to punch with necessarily. So I went ahead and punched them for you. I don't have any more pink because I gave it all to you. So I'm just going to use white. Maybe that's all you have. It'll look just as good. So we're going to do the 2.5-inch punch. This is a 2.5 circle. And that gets adhered together just like that. Okay. And actually, we can actually glue that down right now. Remember, don't go outside the edge. You don't want adhesive to show through your vellum. And the beauty thing, look at that. That white vellum, it looks Pool Party. It looks like it matches the blue in the back. I like that. So I use white because I ran out of pink. But that's okay. Maybe you don't have pink. Okay, so the flower, let me show you a trick on how to punch. So this is a 2-inch strip of paper. I recommend that you cut your paper into strips to save as much as you can, especially when it's special paper like this. So we're going to punch one. And I want you to turn it and then punch the other way. And you can see how close you can get. Look how close you can get, and you don't waste much of anything. I'm going to show you it stamped as well. So here's the image. And remember, your punch goes like this, so we're going to make sure our stamp goes like that. Okay? I'm going to use the Poppy Parade just because it's the ink I have here. You might want to use the So Saffron, which is the yellow. So I'm going to stamp one that way. Stamp one that way. Let that dry. Vellum takes a little bit longer to dry, just because it's not as porous as regular cardstock. So we'll let that dry and we'll cut that out in a second. So let's pretend you've got your punches. And that's all you gotta do is so that they're opposite of each other just a little bit. Now here, I did use the liquid glue, this green glue. You just need a tiny little dot, barely any. Okay. Then place that down right on top. I like to get something heavy and just let it sit for a second. And while we wait for that, I'm going to punch some green. Yeah, I don't have any more green vellum either. So I'm going to use white. Doesn't matter to me. Okay. So there's one sprig. You need, I think 2 looks good. I know I always tell you to use odd numbers, but 2 would look good on here. See, here's the cardigan. Okay, that's been sitting there for a few minutes. That should be, it's still a little bit wet, but that's okay. We'll let that sit there just until we get our card made. This looks dry. It's not shiny anymore, so you can tell it's dry. So then we're going to line it up. Okay, remember you're going to turn it 180 degrees and punch again. And you know, if you don't remember to do that, it's okay. It's just a nice way to save paper. And sometimes it makes a really cool looking border. Alright, so we've got the 2 that are stamped. I'll show you what that looks like put together. Just for grins. And you can see I barely put any glue because that spreads. Okay, just a little bit. We'll let that dry for a second. Just put something on there to keep it down. And then a dimensional on the back here. It really doesn't matter which way you go. I think, yeah, it really doesn't matter. It's just whichever way you like the best. So put a dimensional in the back in the center. And that's going to go wherever you want it. I happen to like it right there. And then I have this Teflon sheet. We sell the silicone mat. Can't find it, but I have a piece of Teflon. This is really good for these tiny, tiny little pieces. Look how tiny that is. Maybe you don't have any of this and you only have this. That's okay. Get you a silicone mat or a piece of Teflon. It doesn't stick. So you can peel it right up, see? And now they're sticky on there. And I'll just place it kind of underneath, like that. I put glue on this so it would be flat. Just because it's so tiny, you can't really get a dimensional on that. Okay. And I stick that under there. And it's white, so it's a lot more subtle, but that's okay. And the last piece, oh, let's see, you gotta let that dry a little bit. The last piece is little flower centers. It's called Perennial Essence Floral Centers. I think that's backwards, but you can ask me if you want these. These are adhesive. They're awesome. They have a little dimensional on the back. You just peel off that tiny little... Just be careful because you can rip the dimensional off of it if you're not too careful. So just grab that little backing like we do on a regular dimensional. And now it's sticky. And just stick that down. That's it. Here's one with green and pink and one with all white. And you could even make the flower white if you wanted to. And then here it is, stamped. Could do that too. See if I can get my thumb out of the way. See, that's real pretty too. It's a nice bundle to get the floral and the punch, and some nice words. All days are beautiful that begin with you. Wishing you a blissful future with friendly thoughts and best wishes today and every day. And this also matches the leaf punch that we have. And this is a kind of a two-step, because you have the flower and then you have the center that matches the flower. So you have this one and then that one. And it also fits in that one. And you have leaves. You can do that too. So that's it. Here's this one. That one. You're getting the kit to make this with the green and the pink. And this one. So these are the three that you're going to make with your kits. So we have vellum in several ways. We got dry embossed, already dried embossed, but cut from SAB and punched. And then this is just a simple layer to make that cardstock real subtle and soft. But one more thing I want to show you. You can also heat emboss on vellum. So this was the same concept as this and this. All I did was change the sentiment to a piece of vellum and embossed it. Now you can see my adhesive. Do you see that there in the middle? And I put a dimensional here and there, and you can see it. So you got to be careful with vellum. Sometimes it's tricky. But you can also heat emboss it. And if you have a Stampin' Up! Heat gun, there's two settings, and you want to use the low setting, the first option. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I can do these more often for you. Thanks.